Okay, so this is going to be a pretty quick playthrough, even though we're on day 6. Please only watch this if you watch the Banished playthrough, because it's not going to be a true walkthrough for the entire game. I'm going to speed through it. I'm just pretty much showing you the alternative end for the third ending, possible ending. We've had our eye on you for some time now. Join us. Praise the Dendrew. The church isn't hard to find in this small hamlet of Sagil. This must be the place. You were wise to pledge your support to the Seeds of Redemption. Together we are stronger. Now that the Dendrew has awoken, the redemption is upon us. It is a glorious time. Our deeds will be remembered for 1,000 years. Those of us that have put our faith in the woken Dendrew will be saved, but we must act swiftly. We will be in touch soon. Praise the Dendrew. And here's another game-changing decision. You can either offer Embersoul or Cauldry. For the good ending, I offered Embersoul, so I'm going to offer Cauldry now. I have a task for you that would greatly aid the Seeds of Redemption. One of the Dreer is in town, and we know he's paid you a visit already, no doubt feeding his habit. We suspect he's here to hunt the Dendrew. If he returns, give him some of this. He'll make a worthy sacrifice to the Dendrew. Let's help him on his way. The Sisterhood was attacked last night. Bethany is dead, along with the new Arda and 13 others. Those damn fools with all their secrets. No amount of pleading with them could get them to see sense, but through blind luck, we have been left with the slender hope in this fight. Sister Charlotte managed to escape the slaughter with one thing that could help in the fight against the servant. Trust no one. Keep it hidden. I'm going to Blackcomb. I will kill this servant. My people have a saying, he who lives without fear does not live at all. I will not say that I am not afraid, but it would be no bad thing to die hunting such a noble adversary. I will take Embersoul. Another body has turned up at Blackcomb. I haven't been to see it yet, and I can't say I'm looking forward to it, but they've identified it as Dreer Hunter, a man named Forrest Bear. We have to do something. Verona tells me you are working on gathering the plants for a ritual that will help us defeat this creature. I want to help in any way I can. From what Verona told me, I think this might be one of the plants needed to perform the ritual, but I'm afraid I do not know where it can be found. The redemption is at hand. We need you to prepare this elixir. With it, we will lure the woken Dendrew back to where this started, the Swinside Stone Circle. The Dendrew is a god perverted by humanity, enslaved by mankind's wickedness, and bent to its evil will. Imagine the glory will bestow upon us when we set it free. Praise the Dendrew. Okay, so the Dendrew's elixir takes the witch's fig, the penny bell, and the bishop's paradise. I can't control it anymore. This has all gone too far. I never meant for it to turn on my sisters. It's too strong, and I am trying to hold it back, but it wants to kill. That's all it wants. Death, death, and more death. You have to help me. I have a decision to make. Do I meet with Faye Swift or the Seeds of Redemption, or do I follow Verona to perform the ritual? When I arrive at the stone circle, Aliford is already waiting for me. Behind him is a group of 5 hooded figures, all bearing the now familiar mark of the Seeds of Redemption. Did you bring the elixir? We only have one chance at this. It has to be now. I hand over the bottle of brown liquid, and Aliford snatches at it greedily. The redemption is at hand, my brothers and sisters. Praise the Dendrew. Bring forth the receptacle. A shallow iron bowl is brought forward and placed in front of Aliford. He mutters some words and pours the brown liquid into the vessel. As he chants softly, a thin tendril of gray smoke begins to ascend, slowly at first, and then rising with his voice, stronger and stronger, until it is a whirling vortex 20 feet high. The minutes stretch out as I wait with apprehension for what is to come, but nothing happens. Eventually, Aliford speaks again. It is done. Now we wait. An hour later. The sun is hanging low in the sky when we finally hear it, a long, low growl that sends shivers down my spine. Moments later, the woman in the jade mask appears at the western edge of the circle, and then, towering behind her, its head showing above the treetops, the skeletal silhouette of the servant. Oh, glorious one, in your name we set you free. Drink the offering and become redeemed. No, you don't know what you're doing. It must not be set free. The servant starts to move, slowly creeping forward in shuffling steps. The woman focuses hard, straining against an invisible force, but it is no use. She cannot stop the steady progress of the creature. Yes, yes, drink. You are no servant. You must be free. As it reaches the iron bowl, the servant reaches out with his slender limbs and raises the receptacle to its mouth. The congregation watches in open-mouthed adoration as it pours the brown liquid down its throat. No! She screams and runs forward, but with lightning speed the creature spins around, and a claw flashes out, cleaving her in two across the chest. She is dead before she hits the ground. The group of watchers cheer in response, but their elation dies on their breath as the servant turns to face them and lets out a menacing growl. Do not be afraid. It is done. The woken Dendrew will be a slave no more, and we will sit at its right hand as its redeemers. We kneel before you, O glorious one. At that, Aliford sinks to his knees, and behind him, the others hesitantly begin to do the same. It is the last thing they do. In moments, the beast is upon them, slashing and slicing with its powerful front limbs, ripping and tearing with its huge jaws. Standing off to one side, I await my fate, rooted to the spot by fear. The servant rears its massive head and shrieks, a piercing primal roar, and with that it is gone, crashing away through the trees. I take in the devastation that is left behind, and my stomach turns. My knees buckle under me, and the world swims and turns dark. I have had little time to reflect on the events of the last few weeks. With Ennis Aliford dead, the surviving members of the Seeds of Redemption have looked to me for leadership. The redemption itself was successful, but Aliford failed to recognize the imminent danger that the freed Dendrew posed. However, it is striking that I alone was spared by it. I feel it has marked me for some greater purpose that I do not yet understand. News has spread, and while there are some that are wary and envious of our success, including those who I had thought of as friends, many have pledged their support and joined our cause. We make offerings daily to the woken Dendrew. It cannot be stopped. Praise the Dendrew. Of the servant. Oh, glorious one, in your name we set you free. Drink the offering and become redeemed. Ha! You think it's that easy? You think you can say a few words and override the bond? The servant is mine. At that, the beast lets out a terrifying roar and charges towards the group. Aliford shrieks in terror and leaps to the side as the long black limb crashes down on the spot where he stood, sending the heavy iron bowl flying into the air. One braver member of the group stands his ground as the others flee. I am not afraid. I will be... But we will never know what he would be, because with a single swipe of its arm, the servant splits the man in two mid-sentence. The woman in the jade mask turns towards me, and unnervingly, the servant mirrors her movements. I have much to thank you for, Horticulture. The Seeds of Redemption, those fools, they were ready to unleash an unimaginable terror on this world. This servant that they worship so much, all at once is blood, and I'm the only one who can hold it back. She turns and walks slowly away, the servant following in that unsettling, mirrored fashion. My attention is drawn to the body on the floor a few meters away from where I stand. The ground is soaked in blood. I've had some time to reflect on the events of the last few weeks. With our leader dead and our cause in tatters, the Seed of Redemption has disbanded. Verona and Reuben have made it clear that they want nothing more to do with me. They do not understand that we were trying to achieve. They do not understand that the woken Dendrew will not be tamed. The woman in the jade mask may have some hold over it for now, but I know she won't be able to hold it forever. As for myself, I have retreated to strange horticulture for the time being. Nobody comes to the shop anymore, which suits me fine. I will stay out of sight. The woken Dendrew will shake off its shackles sooner or later, and when it does, it will remember those who were loyal. Praise the Dendrew. What was that about being patient? I think we're out of time. At that moment, a woman in the jade mask comes hurtling out of the woods at the other side of the clearing. She takes in the scene and heads towards Reuben, ripping her mask off and flinging it into the dirt. Father! Thea? Reuben runs towards her and they embrace in the center of the clearing as the servant bears down. I can clearly see the tears flowing down Thea's stricken face as she looks up at her father. I'm so sorry. I've been a fool. I thought I can control it, but I can't. It's too strong. What have I done? She runs towards us at the shrine, bringing out a small vial of red liquid from within her cloak and thrusting it into Verona's hands. It's blood. My blood. I know what to do. But before she can act, the servant bursts through into the clearing, sending 100-year-old ash and elm hurtling as though they were saplings. Do your worst. Reuben locks eyes with the servant and grabs a sturdy branch, running off to the side to draw the creature away from the shrine. The huge beast lunged towards him with a terrifying roar. Reuben brings up the branch as the servant closes the gap and brings its large skeletal claw arching down. The branch splinters, and Reuben is sent reeling backwards, but he doesn't have time to regain his footing before the beast is on him, slashing and maiming. Father, no! Thea crumples to the floor, wailing as Verona fumbles with the stoppered vial. Turning back towards the shrine, she pours the blood into a small cavity at its base, and then everything happens at once. The servant makes a desperate charge towards us, but I am certain that we are going to be devoured. But Thea steps forward and raises her arms. Get back, servant, stop, I command you. The servant falters for a moment as though wrestling against some invisible force, but it regains control almost immediately. It thrusts one spear-like appendage forward and impales Thea through the abdomen. At the same time, a pillar of bright white light launches out of the shrine towards the servant and hits it in the chest. A huge beast shrieks and staggers backwards, flinging Thea's lifeless body to one side. There is an almighty thunderclap and blinding flash of light, and suddenly the servant is gone. A patch of charred ground smolders where it stood just moments before. My head is spinning at what just happened. Did it work? Have we defeated the servant? With the dust settled and the servant vanquished, I have been able to reflect on the events of the last few weeks. The devastation wrought by the ancient beast was greater than anyone had imagined. By the end, Thea had lost control entirely, as has been made clear from the tales coming from Havrig and Boodle. Without our intervention, who can say what the final tool would have been? In contrast, Undermere has never felt so jubilant, so full of life. All the nervous tension that had built up evaporated in an instant, and the people have plowed their energies into celebration and merriment. They do not know the whole truth, of course, that Thea, the woman in the jade mask, was the one who summoned the servant. In the end, she gave her life to help us defeat it. Verona and I have kept quiet by unspoken agreement. And for myself, well, I'm back in the calm of strange horticulture, of course with Hellbore for company. It's quieter around here and I miss my friend Reuben, but I am content and there are always more plants to learn about and discover. A bloody mess. The servant is gone, a victory of sorts, but one tinged with sadness at the death of our friend.